Radio U Show on IntellectualRadio.com, and I'm your host, Dr. Anthony L. Gant, here again on IntellectualRadio.com, a iHeart station. So we're here today to talk about how to become a better you, and this is what the show is all about. A greater you is helping you become a better you. So every month we do a certain topic, and this particular show is based on three things: it's a book club, a coaching session, and a self-help class, all wrapped into one. So the book obviously is a book that I'll be based on what I have written. This month's book is Becoming a Better Me. You can purchase that book on unknowngreatness.com. Again, it's unknowngreatness.com, and you can get that book and actually follow along with us. Something I'm going to add, because a lot of people look at me from all over the country, and unfortunately, I'm not able to meet everybody personally, or they're able to come to any of the events that I have going on. So if you purchase the book, I probably can maybe 10 people or so. You purchase the book in that month. Also give you include a 15-minute consultation with you to help you maneuver through the book and help you maneuver through your life in regards to that, because a lot of you all know that I am a coach as well, and I coach on many different topics in the self-help space as well as in the entrepreneurship space. So with that, because people can't see me everywhere, and obviously sometimes people can't afford my fees and everything regarding what I do in the coaching side, this is something that I want to offer. So if you purchase the book, I want to take the time to go over the book with you, at least take about 15 minutes. You might share with me some things about where you need to go inside the book, and I can tell you where those things are located in the book, and as well as watching the programs and getting updated information as I go along. So again, this is part two of Becoming a Better Me. Again, we come from the book, Becoming a Better Person. So last week, or part one, we talked a little bit about pretty much how important it is for it to be personal, you becoming a better person, and how you matter. Remember what I shared with you last time, that matter is anything that takes up space. If it takes up space, then it matters. So we don't have to have any other thing to validate, do you matter? With this, only thing we need is the fact we need to ask one question: do you take up space? And obviously the answer is yes, you do take up space. And since you take up space, then obviously you already matter. One thing that I neglected to do, obviously, try to promote some of my partners on this show. One of the purposes on the show is actually for you to seek out help. If there's an area in life that you need help in, seek out help. You can't become better if you don't seek out. Trying to become better on your own is kind of hard to do. Seeking out help through books, coaches, uh, counselors, therapists, all these different people can help you become better. You should do so. So I'm going to make the attempt from this point on. Obviously, I have a lot of promotional partners that promote their businesses on my shows, because you all know I have three shows here on IntellectualRadio.com. And I want to kind of keep this as streamlined as possible, that people that actually go out and help people as coaches and therapists and things like that, I want to make sure I'm giving them some type of promotion. So one of my promotional partners, and with this show specifically, it's Paige Dest, DEST. Her phone number is 860-874-5605. Again, 860-874-5605. And another one is Marla J. Alberti. She's at 904-728-2090. 904-728-2090. Both of these people are coaches in the self-help space. Paige is an emotional intelligence coach, and Marla is a personal and professional coach as well, as far as life work harmony. So obviously, both of those people can help you. As time going, I will have some other promotional people some other people I'll promote regarding helping you become better. Even though the coaches may not be local where you are, I work with coaches and people from all over the country, right? But they can help you regardless of where you are. It doesn't matter if you're on one side of the country and they're on the other. With all the technology and everything, they can still put you along the way. Obviously, you want to make sure you pay their fees, and I don't get any kickback and all that stuff, just because you use some of these people. I just want you to get help. I can't help everybody. I don't know everything. Well, there's a lot of people that know a whole lot of things that I don't know in the areas that they're expertise in, and you might need them, and it might not need me, and that's fine too. However, you might still learn something from the show. So I still want to promote those people anyway. So as we were saying, that you matter. You matter because you take up space, and since you take up space, you matter. Now you don't matter because you're tall, short, big, little, black, white, male, female, old, young, whatever. All that stuff is irrelevant, because that's secondary compared to the fact that you take up space. You have been mattering for a long time. And when you was in your mother womb, You mattered because you were taking up space. That's why every woman that gets pregnant, her stomach gets big because somebody's in there taking up space. So you've been taking up space for a long time. That means you have been mattering, if there's such a word, for a long time as well. So you can't get out here 20, 30 years later and say, I don't matter. I don't matter. Wait a minute. You've been mattering for a long time. You take up space. So you matter. Now, keep this in mind. You don't matter to everybody. You're not important to everybody. And that's okay. But you can't, it's not okay if you don't matter to you. It's not okay if you're not important to you. Those two things, you have to be important to you. You have to matter to you. That's why you have to think about yourself, right? Now here's something for you, right? Because again, when you talk about self, some people get all into this thing, that's being selfish and vanity. It's not at all. See, you can't work on your self-esteem without yourself. You can't work on your self-discipline without yourself. You can't work on your self-confidence without yourself. You can't work on your self-awareness without yourself. You can't work on your self-image without yourself. You can't work on your self-determination without yourself. See, those just few of the selves that you have to do to work on yourself. Now, see, if all those things you have to work on yourself, it starts with you realizing that you are a valuable person, not because of what you have or what you don't have, not because of who you know or who you don't know. You are a valuable person because you take up space. You matter. So with that being said, that means you're valuable. And because you're valuable, that means that you have the opportunity to become a more valuable person, what I call a MVP. So what this whole series about this month is about helping you have create self-help skills. You need self-help skills, right? I need self-help skills. We all do, because self-help skills is going to help you cope with your life better. See, the thing is, no life is all good. I don't care how someone try to make it. You're gonna have your good times and your bad times. No life is all bad. But see, if you don't know how to cope with your life, when something bad happens, you may cope with your life negatively. And a whole lot of us have done that, right? And if something good happens, you may cope with your life negatively as well. Because if you don't have coping skills, then you opening the door to have bad habits rule your life. You're opening the door to feel like you're not mattering or that you're not worth much. You're opening the door to be used by yourself and be used negatively by other people. See, if you don't understand those things, you're going to commit a crime against yourself because you don't have coping skills for yourself and you don't have coping skills with yourself. So the nature of doing well in life, unfortunately, a lot of us aren't taught this at 2 years old on how to have coping skills. So when we get upset, we punch people. When we get depressed, we drink something. When things don't go our way, we smoking something. Right now, I don't have anything against what you do. If that's what you want to do, hey, that's your thing. However, one thing about life, if you can't handle a $20 problem now, you can't cope with a $20 problem. You fooling yourself thinking you're gonna be able to cope with a $200 problem. You fooling yourself thinking you're gonna be able to cope with a $2,000 problem. You fooling yourself thinking you're gonna be able to cope with a $20,000 problem. If you don't get coping skills at 20, then you're not gonna get better with coping with problems at 30. See, if you're not good at it at 30, you're not gonna get better at it at 40. See, that means that you're not gonna be able to solve problems in your personality because you don't have coping skills to do so. So any problem that you have in your life that you don't solve, it does not go away. It just become a bigger problem in the future. So it's a problem at 25, you don't solve it, it become a bigger problem at 35. You don't solve it, it become a bigger problem at 45. You don't solve it, it become a bigger problem at 55. See, it won't ever get smaller because you won't solve it. It just become bigger because you won't solve it. And the way that we solve these problems that we have in our personality is by having coping skills, those self-help skills, as I call them, as well, so that we can get better. Now, again, a lot of people want to hope. I'm big on prayer. People want to pray. That's cool. But after you break from that prayer, you got to do something. You got to do something with your life. Yeah, praying is good. However, you better use some coping skills to add with that, because hope is okay, but hope won't help you get better without coping skills. You're going to have you some self-help skills to work on yourself to become a better self. So I said all that. That's kind of like the first 3 chapters, right? I try to sum it up as quickly as I can because my time is kind of short today. However, on the other side, that you must realize that you're a valuable person, right? Being a valuable person will put you in a position where you become a priceless person, right? Now, once you understand that you're a valuable person, that's using the self-help skill of self-worth. That's a self-help skill. You need to understand that you are worth something. If you don't realize that you are worth a lot, it won't be long before you would think that you're worth less. And if you think that you're worth less, you're going to think, why should I work on myself if I think I'm worth less? Then you're going to work on yourself less. Then you're going to think you're worth less even more. Then you're going to work on yourself less. Then you're going to think you're worth less even more, right? This is going to be a tailspin. And this is what happened to a lot of people in life. They life tailspin out of control, not because they're bad people. They just don't think they worth a whole lot to work on themselves to become better people. Well, you have to take on the fact that no one can work on you for you. Now that may happen when you're 5 years old, 10 years old. Mom and daddy can do that stuff for you. But when you become an adult, see, you got to do this on your own. You got to work on yourself. You can't wait on mom, dad, sister, brother, son, daughter, husband, wife, best friend, cousin. You can't wait on those people to work on yourself. Why? Because you're with yourself everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, you have to take you. You can run from your city. You can run from your neighborhood. You can run from people. You can say, I'm moving to this state. I'm moving to this city. I'm moving to this neighborhood. I'm going to get me a new boyfriend, new girlfriend, new husband, new wife, right? You can do all that stuff, but the common denominator is going to be you. You're going to take you into every relationship that you go in. You're going to take you to every workplace you go in. You're going to take you to every neighborhood you go in, every city, every state, right? You cannot shake you off. That means you got to go ahead and make you better. Now, if it's something about you that's not good and you don't like it, running from yourself and hiding from yourself won't solve that problem. That it's almost like picking up a kitty cat, at least you think it's a kitty cat, and you take it home with you because you found it out there in the jungle and you found out you got a big old lion in about 2 years, right? Now you can't get out the house. Big old lion and back you up in the corner. See, that's what happened to a lot of us because we don't solve problems in our life. Then these things end up becoming bigger problems for us that we really just can't even handle anymore, right? That's why we need a whole lot of help. That's why I gave you a couple of people early in the show, right? You know that you need help. So your job, again, my job, our job, is to become valuable people, right? Now, I shouldn't say become valuable people. You're already a valuable person, but we need to become more valuable. What I call a MVP. See, a more valuable person. You must become a more valuable person. See, knowing that you're valuable is not where it stops. That's just where it starts. Now, your job is to become more valuable as time goes on. For instance, here's for an example. If I had a vase or vase, based on how you pronounce it, right? And I told you that this vase was worth $100,000. You said, "Oh, that's wonderful," and I gave it to you. It's yours now. Now I said, I'm gonna stand on the other side of the room and I said, let's play catch with this vase, right? You're gonna probably say, no, no, and I'm gonna say, why? You don't trust me? What, you don't think we think we're gonna drop it? Because if we drop the vase, then the vase is not worth $100,000 any longer, right? Well, you don't want to play catch with that vase. Well, you know why? Because you don't want it to break. You're gonna put it in safekeeping in your house. You're gonna make sure it's around carpet, right? Just in case it fall off a table, it won't break, right? You're gonna do all you can to protect this vase because it's worth $100,000. Now, see, that's something that we can see, right? Now, what about you? Do you protect yourself the same way? Do you make sure you put yourself in the hands of people that won't drop you, that won't break you? Do you make sure that you don't drop you and break you? But see, a lot of times we don't do that because I'm not that valuable. Why would I care who hands I put myself into? See, that's how we walk through life. But see, some of us say, well, yeah, I don't know if I might, I will. But see, if you don't think you're valuable and you have a responsibility to become more valuable. You can't stop there. Now, I use $100,000. I use money, and I use those numbers not to equate you with money. I just use those to help emphasize points that I'm trying to make, so you can see certain things. It's not that you and money is ever equated. You are bigger than money every day of the week, right? I don't care how much money you have or don't have. You're bigger than money. You're bigger than the things that cost money. But if you don't think that you're valuable, you're gonna think your clothing is bigger than you. You're gonna think it's more important than you. You're gonna think your car. You're gonna think your house. You're gonna think all these things are more valuable than you are as a person because of the fact that you don't know that you are a valuable person already. So your job is to say, okay, I'm valuable, I matter, I'm important, at least to me, I matter to at least me, I'm valuable to at least me, right? And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to become more valuable. See, that's doing the work. Now, that's a self-help skill, a self-evaluation. Now, see, a lot of us don't want to evaluate ourselves. We look at ourselves, don't want to evaluate ourselves, don't want to think nothing wrong with us. Just the way I am. Well, the way you are is killing your life. Okay, so how much longer you gonna keep going that way if that's just the way you are? And then you want me to invite you in my life so you can kill my life too? No, 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 no. That's not right, right? So that means that the way you are you need to improve. Just because you've been used to living the way you are for the 30 years and you done destroyed everything and came across your path, don't mean that that's the way you should continue to be when you already have evidence that has already tore your life up, right? So you have to become a more valuable person. So the self-help skill of self-evaluation, I'm in chapter 4 now. I guess I should open the book, but I did write it, so I know what things are. But I'm in chapter 4, right? So in chapter 4, that's what we're talking about, the self-help skill of self-evaluation. Now, see, self-evaluation is not being self-critical. Those are two different things. See, critical, the word critical comes from the word critic, and which means to tear up, right? So criticize, critic, that means tear up. So you're not trying to tear you up. You're not making you better by tearing you up. You don't already have enough people out here in the world that take care of that for you. They'll tear you up because you're a man. They'll tear you up because you're a woman. They'll tear you up because you're 20. They'll tear you up because you're 50. They'll tear you up because you're from the north. They'll tear you up because you're from the south. So you don't need to jump into that and jump on that bandwagon to tear you up. So we're not into being self-critical. You got enough critics out here already. Somebody's gonna criticize you for something. So don't worry about that. You're into self-evaluation. And now here's the difference. Evaluation has the root word evalue, right? E means out, value means that, right? Worth, right? So what you're doing is you're evaluating yourself to get the value or the worth out. Where's the value? See, I should ask you, where's your value? And you should be able to tell people where your value is. Well, see, what happens is if I don't ever do the self-help skill of self-evaluation, then I would think my value is in things. I think my value is in titles. I think my value is how I look. I think my value is in what I have because I've never taken the time to see what my value is inside me as a person. See, and this is how people get confused, right? Because see, people said, "Oh, you're pretty," right? So they thought their value was in pretty. "Oh, you have a nice body." They think they value is in having a nice body. "Oh, you have a nice car." They think they value is in having cars. And if once any of those things leave their life, maybe they don't look as pretty as they used to when they were 25. Now they're 65. Now they said, well, I guess I'm not valuable. See, some people think you're only valuable because of sex, right? Now they're not having sex anymore. I guess they're not valuable, right? See, this is what people are because they never take the time to evaluate themselves to find out what their value is as a person. They never say, I matter because, for one, I take up space. I'm valuable already. Now let me make myself more valuable. I'm valuable here. Now, these things over here are hurting me, so I need to stop doing that. But these things over here enhance me. I need to start doing that. That's how you start evaluating who you are, evaluating what you have, right? So let me put it in a story for you, a story form for you, real briefly. Suppose when you were born, the day you were born, there was a mandate by the government or whatever, and said that you are a million, you have $1 million the day you were born. Now here's some stipulations on spending this money. You can only spend $100 a day. Now, what you spend the money on is irrelevant. What time of day you spend the money is irrelevant. Why you spent the money is irrelevant. And how you spent it is irrelevant. But you can spend right? So the first 5 years or so, you don't know what $100 bill is or a dollar. So mom and dad taking care of that for you, right? Spend $100 a day on you, right? About 5, 6, 7 years old, you start realizing, listen, I know how to spend my own money, right? So now you take over this type of thing, right? You say, give me the steering wheel here so I can drive this myself. So now you're spending this $100 a day on yourself because you got this $1 million investment that was already made to you, right? Well, here's what happened. In about 27 years and 4 months, you will be empty. You'll be bankrupt. You had spent all the money, right? You wouldn't have any money left, right? So what that means is you are at zero. And you being at zero means bankrupt, right? So this is what happens to people in life. They about their mid-20s as people, they become bankrupt people. Most of us have in our mid-20s, we bankrupt by the time we get in our mid-20s. Then we want to find somebody and get married to and make babies by them, right? They broke, we just two broken people as people. Right? Because we didn't spent all our value over the last 27 years and 4 months, and nobody has ever came to us and said, hey, you little guy, hey, you little girl, you have to become more valuable. This is what you have to do. Because most people in our environments, they're not becoming valuable, and we just pick up what they do. They don't do nothing of value, neither do we. So how we are in 27 years and 4 months, and then this is when people want to try to, unfortunately, commit suicide a lot. This is when they quit on life. This is when they don't want to do nothing with their life anymore. Why? Because they don't think they're valuable people. Why work on myself? Look how raggedy my life has been over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Because they have spent all their quote unquote money or value over the last 27 years and 4 months. It's a statement that I heard once about 30 years or so ago. I didn't want to believe it because I was in my 20s, but I'm in my 50s now, so I believe it really, I think it's valid. It said that most people die when they're 25. We just buried them when they're 65. And I didn't want to believe that when I heard that because I was about 23, 24 years old, right? I'm thinking, no, everybody excited about life. That doesn't mean die physically, but they die emotionally. They die as people. They don't have any desires anymore, right? Because they're dead at 25. We just put them in the grave at 65. Well, as I got older, I kind of changed it up and I said, man, a whole lot of people really died about 22. We just buried them about 72. You understand what I'm saying? Because they die as people. Well, using that example, I said spend $100 a day. Even if you want to go up to $10 million, you spend $1,000 a day. People come in here as invaluable people, priceless people. They're so valuable. And then by the time they get in their mid 20s, they think they're more valuable the day they were a baby than they are 27 years later. Now, how does that work when you didn't know nothing as a baby? You couldn't do nothing as a baby. Everything that you did, somebody had to take care of it for you. And then 20 plus years later, you think you less valuable at that point than you were the day you were born? You know what happens? That's what happened over 10, 20, 30 years of not working on yourself. You don't think that you're a valuable person. So that's why we have to go back and say, you matter. You matter to yourself. Now, it's good that we have all these different movements and everything, to kind of make people feel better about themselves because of their gender, because of their color, because of their age, because of what they do, their professions, degrees. That's cool. That shows that you accomplished some things and all that. But without all those things, again, you still are valuable and you need to know that for yourself. Because if you don't treat yourself valuable, you can't get mad if other people don't treat you valuable. Again, you always gonna have your sector of people that's not gonna treat you valuable. You may be a woman. It may be some people just don't like women. They men. They don't like women, right? I don't care what you do. They won't look at you as being valuable. That's out of your control. But this is what's in your control. You got to still think you're valuable, even if you're a woman. You still got to think you're valuable, even if you're black. You still got to think you're valuable, even if you're young. You still got to think you're valuable, even if you're old. You can still got to think you're valuable, even if you can't walk fast. You still got to think you're valuable, even if you can't see anything. See, you still got to think you're valuable because you take up space. You matter. You got to get that down in you. And you'll hear me say that numerous times. You already heard me say it numerous times before. So you have to understand that once I get there, now I need to become more than $1 million investment. I need to start working on myself so I can be a $2 million investment, a $3 million investment, a $10 million investment, a $100 million investment. So I can come to the point where I am now priceless. Now that takes a while for a lot of us to get to. Some of us never get to that because if I start thinking that I'm priceless, I'm gonna have to leave my friends. I might have to start hanging out with different people other than my family because I think I'm priceless now. Because your family might not think you priceless. You got F's all the time in school and everything. Now you 30, 40, 50 years old and you run around there talking about, nah, I think I'm priceless. They're going to say, you ain't never been priceless. Look at all those babies you got. You got pregnant early. Look at all the stuff you got into. You remember you was on drugs at one time. You can't be priceless because, again, remember I told you, there's a difference between self-evaluation and being self-critical. Most of the people that don't work on themselves will criticize you every day of the week. Most of the people that work on themselves will evaluate you and value you every day of the week. You just need to find your kind. That's a self-help skill. It's called personal relationships. You got to build personal relationships with other people that value you. You got to get around other people that value themselves. Now I'm gonna let you know this group is very, 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 very small. Right? It's not a large group of people. If you think 5,000 people are gonna think that you the most valuable person on the planet, you fooling yourself. You're gonna have about a handful of people. You might be one of these fortunate people, got two handfuls of people. But what you have to do is get around people that value themselves and then that will open up the door so they can value you. And you must be the same way. You must value yourself so that can open up the door so you can value other people. That's a self-help skill. Matter of fact, it's lesson 14 in the book and the self-help skill number 12. Now, with these self-help skills, even though I'm kind of going back and forth and touching on several of them, because I only have so much time during this month to teach on the book, right? So no self-help skill is like a hierarchy. It's not one more important than the other, in my estimate. But they all are important for you to actually work on yourself to get better. So when you appraise yourself, self-evaluation, right? Evalue, right? Getting the value out. You are appraising yourself to find out where your value is so that you can keep adding more value to your value. That's how you become an MVP, a more valuable person. Now that leads me to another self-help skill. It's called self-interest. That's a self-help skill, right? Now, see, when you hear self-interest, here we go with these old selfish people, right? That's vanity. You're interested in yourself. Yeah, I need to be interested in myself. Everywhere I go, I take myself with me, right? That don't mean that I'm the only thing on the planet, only person on the planet. What it means is that I have an interest in making myself better. I have an interest in making myself better and better. Now, if I do have an interest in making myself better, now here's something that I need to do, right? I need to invest in myself if I have an interest in myself becoming a better self. You show me a person that don't have an interest in themselves becoming a better self. I'll show you a person that will not make an investment in themselves to become a better self because they don't have an interest in themselves becoming better selves. They think something just gonna happen because they walked out the door and they were gonna become better. They think because they who they are that they just gonna become better for no other reason than that. No, you got to put the work in. This thing is work to become better. It's like taking a shower, right? You only smell as good as your last bath. If you haven't taken a bath in a year, how the world you think you're gonna smell good for 364 other days? You fooling yourself thinking that that's gonna happen. That's why you have to work on yourself, and this is something that you have to do daily. So you could, people think, well, I'm older. I'm 75 years old. I'm 65 years old. I'm a senior. You need to listen to me. Listen, just because you woke up every day, you just grew older. But see, to become a better person, you need to work on yourself every day. Working on yourself is totally different than just growing old. It's growing better. So you have to actually understand that this is something that you have to do often. You can't take a break from it and say, well, I'm going to work on myself, invest in myself once every 20 years, and I'm going to be great. You're fooling yourself, right? That's not how it works. It may work like that in some type of fairy tale land, but it doesn't work like that in this thing called real life, on this thing called planet Earth. It doesn't work that way. So that means that you have to understand there's a self-help skill called self-interest. Now, if you're not interested in yourself getting better and not doing the work and making an investment in yourself getting better, then you're going to fall into a negative self-interest, which is vanity, which is selfishness, which is all those things, right? Because you're not trying to get better. You just think everything's about you all the time, right? With everybody. Everybody got to dance to your beat. Everybody got you the DJ all the time. Everywhere you go, everybody got to do the way you said it and what you said. That's just not how it goes in real life. Once you have a self-interest in getting better, it's like money. Interest on money follow the investment, right? A little bit different, right? You have an interest, so then you invest. Once you invest in stuff that can help you become better, then that's when you're going to have more interest compounded on that investment. Then that means you're going to have a bigger interest in yourself becoming better. And then you're going to make a bigger investment in yourself becoming better. And then interest is going to be compounded on that particular investment. And this whole circle goes over and over and over again, right? Over and over until you become a better self, right? Now, you don't get to a place where there's a pinnacle. Like, I'm there. I have arrived. The day you arrive is the day you should just go ahead and leave the planet because you need to say your job is finished. But as long as you on this planet and you wake up the next day, you got to become a better person. It's a brand new day. You need to become a much better person or an MVP. If you don't become an MVP, then how are you going to actually become a benefit to yourself and to other people? So those are some things that you need to understand about becoming better. So again, I talked on a couple of self-help skills. One, self-worth. Another one, self-evaluation. Another one, self-interest. And another one I did talk about self or personal relationships. So when you look at the self-help skill of self-interest, you might want to write this down. I call it PTLLTP, right? What that means is pay to learn, learn to pay. Right? See, when people don't pay to learn or they never learn to pay, then they won't pay to learn. Meaning that you have to make an investment in books and seminars and workshops and all these type of things. Yeah, it's cool you see somebody for free. Like, hey, you might see somebody on some of these social media spots and everything, and you get that stuff for free. That's cool. That's not a bad thing, but you can't live off chips and free stuff forever, right? You're going to have to put some investment into your interests. Because we know how bad you want something based on how much you invest in it. If you don't want it very much, you won't invest very much. That's with anything. If you have an interest and you have a desire to get something very much, trust me, evidence of your desire or your interest will be always told by your investment that you make. You show me people that make little investments in themselves. I'll show you people that have a little interest in themselves becoming better people. You show me a person that make a lot of investment in themselves. Now, investment just doesn't mean money. It means also effort. See, it means work, right? What use of buying my book or anybody's book and not read it? That's not going to do you any good. You say, "Oh yeah, I got his book." Well, my book is going. My book is on the shelf in your house, and you say, "I didn't become better, but I did buy your book." My book does not read itself for you. You have to read it, and then you have to do it. My book, anybody else's book, you go to somebody's seminar, man, I spent thousands of dollars going to that seminar, and I'm still bad. I'm still a messed up person. It's not the seminar fault. You have to do the work that they gave you at the seminar. Man, you don't understand, man. I did all that stuff. I spent over $10,000 trying to learn how to be better. And look at it, I'm still messed up. My wife still left. My dog still bite me. Everything still messed up, right? Well, wait a minute. Did you use the stuff? Why use it one day in a row? No, 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 no. You got to keep using it over and over and over again so it can get better. So this is how you use this, right? You make an investment in yourself because you have an interest in becoming a better self, right? Once you make the investment, your job is to actually use the stuff that you bought. See, a lot of times people don't use what they bought. But see, your job is not just use the stuff that you bought occasionally, sometime, every now and then, when the weather is good, when people like me, or when people don't like me, whatever it may be. You need to use it all the time. You need to keep using it. Again, I lay things real simple because I want people to understand, right? It's like soap. You can't buy soap one time and say I used it one time and I can't figure out 3 years later how come I don't smell good. You got to use the soap all the time. And then when you run out of that soap, you need to travel back to the store and get more, right? You need to get abundance of soap. Why? Because you can smell clean often. Well, same thing in becoming better. You need to buy books. You need to buy audio programs. You need to go to seminars. You need to go to workshops, conferences, and all these different things. You can't now. You may say, "Man, you don't understand. I don't have no money to do all that stuff." That's cool. Do you have some money to do something? No, man. Now, some people on the planet, some people in the country, they are in position where they have no money. So I'm good with that. I've been homeless before. I know about not having nothing. I've been down that street already, right? However, when I was homeless, I had about $10 and I was able to buy me a book. And I started using that. Now that was about 30 some years ago, but then I started using that and then I got better at some things and I got $20. Then I got better at some things and I got $100. And I kept investing in those things. Now, I couldn't buy everybody book. I couldn't buy everybody seminar. I couldn't buy everybody audio programs. But when I did buy one, I tried to wear it out. See, I tried to tear it out. I tried to break it. I tried to read the book so much the book come apart, right? If I spent $30 on a book, I said I'm going to try to read that book 30 times. So it cost me $1 each read, right? It's kind of hard to read things 30 times and not get better. You understand? It's kind of hard to listen to audio programs 30, 40, 50, 100 times and not get better. But see, somebody said, don't take all that. No, man. I can read stuff one time and get it. Yeah, right. That's why you're still in the situation that you're in because you think you can do stuff one time. Well, I heard that before, man. I heard somebody say that before. My mama used to say stuff like that. Oh, yeah, my daddy said stuff like that. Yeah, but it doesn't do you any good if you haven't done it in 20 years. You wouldn't believe how many people come to me at the seminars or buy my books and tell me 6 months later, man, your book was the first book I read in 20 years. Now, it may be commendable that they read my book and it's the first one they read in 20 years, but really it's sad. You went 20 years as an adult, 20 years as a person on the planet, and haven't read a book in 20 years on how to become a better you. You didn't raise babies and haven't wrote a book on how to become a better you. You mean you couldn't find $50, $100, whatever, and invest in a seminar to become a better you? I mean, after 20 years, and then these same people want folks to be in love with them. These same people want to get in relationship with people. These same people that don't work on themselves want to step into the lives of other people and think somebody else wants that raggedy person in their life. Come on, we got to do much better than that. We can't go around long in our lives not working on ourselves, becoming better people. I'm going to touch on one last self-help skill. The self-help skill is self-interest. Obviously, that's in lesson 5. Now, the self-help skill in lesson 6 is personal responsibility. Now, here's the reality. If you don't become responsible to yourself, then you will never become a better self. And the problem is a lot of us aren't responsible to ourselves. Since we aren't responsible to ourselves, we won't become better people. Your job is to become a more responsible person to yourself. Why? Because if you don't get responsible, and this is what happened, you show me irresponsible, I'll show you somebody else that wants somebody else to take the responsibility. Again, that's cool when you're 2 years old, 5 years old, 8 years old, 12 years old. I got to wake you up and go to school, all that stuff. 15 years old, go to school, boy, go to school, girl, get your education. Right? That's cool then. 42 years old, that ain't cool. No, 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 no. Somebody else, you think somebody else supposed to be responsible for you becoming a better person? You think your husband's supposed to be more responsible for you becoming a better person as a wife, as a person? You think the wife is supposed to be more responsible for you becoming a better person? Grandma, your cousin, your best friend? No, 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 no. It doesn't go that way. You must become responsible for yourself. That is a self-help skill called personal responsibility. You respond with the ability that you have. Responsibility. If you don't get any self-help skills, you don't have the ability to respond positively, and you don't have the ability to respond correctly. And that means that you're going to find yourself in a world of trouble most times. So your job again is to get coping skills, self-help skills. You are responsible for using those. Reality. You're going to have your good days and you're going to have your bad days. How are you going to cope when they happen? See, if you every time something go wrong, you get depressed, you got to go drink you a fifth because they shorted you on your check, so you got to go drink you a fifth of alcohol because it's just the way it is. But then when you get a raise on your job, you got to go drink you a fifth because you got a raise. See, you coping with your life the same ways. Now again, you drink what you want to drink, man. You like it, man. That's cool with me, right? However, if that's what you have to do to cope with your life, because that's gonna be a bigger problem when something bigger happens. Because see, we all gonna have people that die in our life. They're gonna leave the planet. How you gonna cope with that? We're gonna have people that love us today and may not love us tomorrow. How you gonna deal with that? May have a job that you the top person on the job. Next thing you know, you don't have it. How you gonna deal with that? Things may be going your way for a while and they may not be going your way. How you gonna deal with that? How you gonna deal with the successes that you have in life, and how you gonna deal with the failures that you have in life? And if you have negative coping skills, I guarantee you, the same way you deal with the negative, you're gonna deal with the positive. You're gonna destroy yourself every step of the way because you're not trying to be a better self. So you have to understand that you have to make an investment in yourself. You need to get around people that know something that you don't know. You need to invest. Here's the reality, right? It's 365 days in a year. And I've been doing this for a long time, you all. I've been out here speaking and coaching and all that stuff for about 30 years, right? A quarter of a century, easy, right? 25 years, probably more than that, if I think about it, right? I've been doing this for a long time. The average person does not spend $365 a year in information to help them become better. That's $1 a day. It's been going that way for a long time. I've been telling people all this. Would you make sure you make a budget to spend $365 a year? Now, people say, no, you're just saying that because you wrote books and you had seminars. I was saying this before I wrote books. I was saying this when I realized I started putting my life back together again. I was saying it then when I didn't have any seminars, when I wasn't Dr. Anthony Gant. I was saying that to people then. I made it a practice to make sure I spent so much money every year, so much time every year, so I can get better. You can't spend an hour a day and working on becoming a better person. It's only 365 hours in a year. It's 168 hours in a week. You can't find an hour to work on becoming a better person? Reading a book for 20, 30 minutes in a day? Listen to an audio program for 30 minutes a day? You can't do that. It's 168 hours in a week. You can't find 7 out of 168? Come on, those called excuses. And in life, you can make excuses or you can make progress, but you can't make both of them at the same time. So you need to ask yourself, do you want to become a better person? And what is it that you're going to do to make sure that happens? So to wrap it up, you got to work on self-help skills, right? You got to make sure that you value yourself and look at yourself as a valuable person. You want to purchase the book, you can get the book from unknowngreatness.com. Again, it's unknowngreatness.com. And again, you can seek out help. If you need help, you look at this again. Also, if you're looking at me on the social media spot, as well as you're looking at me here on Intellectual Radio, I want you to hit the subscribe button on the video on YouTube, right? Even if you're looking to me on social media spot, go to IntellectualRadio.com, hit the subscribe button, and then you'll be notified when shows are on, because it's about 40, 50 shows every week, different hosts like myself of different, everybody don't talk what I'm talking about, okay? So you said, man, I want to hear you all day, right? It's a whole lot of different people out here, got a whole lot of good things to say, good things to share. So I want you to hit that, and then you'll be notified every time a show come on. You can find your liking, right? And then these shows do come on afterwards, and they do repeat themselves. And you can look at them over and over again at YouTube, IntellectualRadio.com, and you can look at them and you can peruse through the website, and you can find different hosts that you like, and you can follow them, right, on social media and all those different things. So I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to me, because you could have been doing anything on a day like today, but you did take the time to listen to me and take out your day to look at this over and over again. Again, purchase the book from unknowngreatness.com, becoming a better me, and then we'll work on getting greater. Look at my show on Mondays at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. A great entrepreneur show. I'll be interviewing another entrepreneur. Look at me on Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be interviewing another author on the Great Author Show. And I'll see you again next Sunday here on a Greater You Show. And keep in mind, you were born great. However, you need to work on yourself daily so you can become greater. See you next time.